What's up, people? What's up? How y'all feeling? Hit them with a clap. What's up? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up News. I'm your boy Fletch. You can find me at If Inc. That's IF_INC. Hit them with one more clap as I welcome y'all back to a wonderful weekend of What's Up News from What's Up Entertainment. So, hope y'all had an interesting and fun week. It is an interesting week to say the least. I will say that. We have been going through a roller coaster of crazy crap that happened this week, and it just keeps piling on like a pile of crap. Boy, oh boy. But before we get started, we got to hit before we get started, we're going to enter in a word of prayer because we need it. This country needs it. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this wonderful day today, God. I pray, Father, that you bless all the listeners, bless everyone who's entered into this room right now. Father, I pray you bless us, bless me, Father. Let my words touch many, touch most, touch all, Father. I pray, Father, you get the glory and the honor from everything I say. And I pray, Father, that just your glory be spewed out through the country, throughout the nation, throughout the world, Lord, because we need it, Father. In Jesus' mighty name, I thank you and praise you because you are awesome and you are God. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, with that being said, let's shout out to, y'all know how we got to get it started because I need chapstick. And with that chapstick being said, I don't know if that thing popped over on that other screen. I should also always keep that blocked. But soft lips is what we're kicking it off with because y'all know I always need chapstick over here. And this ain't chapstick. What is this? Soft lips to keep your lips nice and soft. All right. Yes, I need it every time I get on screen. Every time. It is crazy how dry my lips get soon as I sit down over here and press record. It happens. But you know what we like to start off with. The first thing we start off with before we get into our news of the week is our hat. Y'all like my jacket? This is an Old Navy special. Caught this on sale. It was like $17. It was beautiful. But before we start, we like to start with the what? The Fletcher rant. All right, what are we ranting about this week? This one is something I dealt with from high school to college, even adulthood, right? The rant I have to say is I wrote it down. I keep my notes. I like my notes. Shout out to my mom for telling me to keep notes. Can I be real with y'all? I kind of always been jealous of non-Christian men. Like real talk. This is an honest post. I've been jealous. I was jealous because they could do things I couldn't do as a Christian. I'm gonna be 100% with y'all. I would look at rappers on videos and I'd be like, dang, I wish I could just be free like them and say what I want to say and do what I want to do and cuss and drink. And this is me being real and legit real and vulnerable. I used to look at them like, man, I wish I could have all the women like that and just do stuff freely without having no consequences just throw all regards to the winds and just go and sleep with everybody because it just looks like it's fun. As a man growing up that played sports and did music that had access to all type of women, man, I wish I could have been part of that. This is just me being real. And y'all can get on this, oh, Isaac, no, Fletcher's not like that. No, I don't care what y'all say. That was legitly me. I would look at dudes going on a spring break and going to party and clubs and doing all that stuff and just pulling random chicks, bad chicks, And I'd be like, dang, bro, I can't even. That's something I can't partake in. Flesh wants to partake in it. My relationship with God would have me do other things, but man, I would be jealous of rappers that just go out and be 20 years old and doing what they want to do. I would be so jealous of that. And I can sit here and tell y'all, oh, it changed. It don't. It don't. I'm going to be real. So, maybe other Christians that, had that wonderful, like, oh, no, I'm being real with y'all. Some of y'all appreciate me more for being real. Some of y'all be like, oh, how dare you open with a word of prayer and speak truth? That's just truth, man. That's just truth. That's just truth. I would be jealous of non-Christian men because it just looks like a fun life. And now on the outside looking in, it looks fun. Inside looking out, it probably was miserable. But from the outside looking in, I'm like, dang, I wish I could partake in all the fun that they look like they're having. And then, they would go and do all this stuff in their 20s, right? Get everything out they system in their 20s, repent in their 30s, and live a wonderful life in their 30s, and so on. I'd be like, dang, bro. Dang. But that's just the truth of what it is. That's my rant. Like, man, I wish I could have partaken a lot of stuff. And I wouldn't wild out crazily. I wouldn't just be like out here just, who knows? Maybe I would have. Maybe I would have. But I maybe have kids like Stephon Diggs, had 20 kids here and there. And somebody's like, oh, you got saved from STDs. Yeah. But the ones that usually tell me that stuff like that is the ones that got their fun out, repented, and got married. So they be like, oh, no, you just missed out on, you didn't miss out on nothing, bro. Like, you trust me. But y'all done did y'all dirt. Y'all done had y'all fun. And y'all telling me, oh, nah, bro, it's cool. Like, that's like telling somebody who was speeding in their cars and had like driving and, oh, you don't want to drive that fast, bro. Trust me. Driving fast ruins your gas. It just messes you up, but you cool. So that's just me being real. Me being real. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. That was just I used to be jealous. I used to be like, dang, I wish that could be me. I want to have fun with women. Real talk. Man, I wish I could have fun with all those ladies. I wish I could have fun in the clubs with my homies. I wouldn't go to the clubs because I just knew it wasn't an environment for me. Because as a Christian, as someone who has a relationship with God, I just knew that was not the right environment that cultivated a relationship with God, especially being a drummer, as a musician. Like, they already thought the drummers was hoes anyway. So I'd be like, let me not go I don't want to be the drummer that go to the club and doing all this other stuff at nighttime, and in the morning you see me on a drum set talk. Dude, that's the same guy I just seen last night doing all this stuff in the club or doing this. He was the one who took me and did this. I didn't want to be that guy. So I took an L for the rest of y'all heathens. I took the L so y'all can have y'all funds, and I could be in front of the church and like, no, not all musicians are whores, even though I wanted to be one. So look, I took one for the team so y'all can have y'all fun. Y'all owe me some money. With that being said, give it a clap. All right. So here, what's up? We'd like to talk about the latest and greatest news, talking in politics, U.S. news, entertainment, and sports. And we always like to kick it off with politics and U.S. news because they usually require the most time and the most thought processing. So this week, so much has happened with U.S. news and politics. We are going to take our time. We're not going to shoot through it because it's a lot to digest. That's why I started late today. It was so much going on within the last 72 hours that it was just bombardment and just constant pelting of information that I could get overwhelmed by all the videos that were getting sent, and shout out to the people that were sending me videos, and all the information that was getting sent. Shout out to all the people that were sending me information. Just about these two little incidents, one little incident, I'm sorry, not even little, one incident that happened, which led to another incident that happened, that led to other incidents that happened. And then you just go down a rabbit hole. What are we talking about? If you guys don't already know, there was a tragic shooting in Minnesota involving an ICE agent shooting a woman in the car. So I even got a note to myself: just talk slowly and calmly so you can take your time and go video to video and talk about your points, because I get caught up talking so fast and getting excited that I'll shoot through things, which is why it's important to have notes. But as we jump into it, so anger and outrage spill into Minneapolis streets after ICE officer fatally shoots a woman by the name of Renee Good. On January 7, 2026, in Minneapolis, ICE agent Jonathan Ross shot and killed Renee Good after she was fleeing from agents in her vehicle. Renee was parked perpendicular in the streets. And I will say this, if y'all haven't seen the video, I may show it. I have it. I may not show it. It just depends. Because by now, everyone has seen the video. Renee was parked perpendicular in the street. Was she being a nuisance to agents? Probably, but nothing illegal. Ross began recording with his cell phone walking around the vehicle, and per his video, both were acting civil. Annoying, yes, but civil nonetheless. Another agent gets out of his car or approaches Good's vehicle, telling her to get the F out the vehicle, get out the vehicle. That's when Good reverses and tries to drive off. That's when Ross draws his weapon, steps to the side after the car moves by, shoots into the vehicle. Now, my option, no, what did I say? Now, my option. Oh, no, opinion. I meant to say opinion. Now, however you feel about this, the killing, if you're on one side or the other, my opinion, from the cell phone footage, it appears that Good was trying to flee. Others say she was trying to hit him. Ross pulled his gun and draw instead of getting out of the way of the vehicle. That's clear. Ross's shots came while his body was at the fender of the car and then the driver's side window. As Good's car crashed, initially no one but her wife went to go check on her. There are videos showing Ross walking, then walking away with his cell phone, getting into an SUV and driving off. I say that because Kristi Noem said that he was transported to a hospital. Donald Trump said he was run over and thank God he survived. Trump also said she was acting as in Renee Good, was acting very badly and saying bad things. Now I have videos of certain comments that were being said, other videos, and we'll go through a few of them because a lot of videos make sense. A lot of them were sent, and I just want to take the time and go through them and give my opinion because a lot of people are doing this online, and I think we have the responsibility as journalists, as people in the social media to give fair opinions, give fair values and your opinion to what you think. Now, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own thoughts. Me as someone who studied criminal justice, I have 146 credit hours, way more than I should. I have criminal justice is my bachelor's. I have a degree in this. Not saying I'm qualified, but I try to look at things from a very unbiased standpoint when it comes to police interactions and civilian interactions, because I say, no matter what, everyone has a right to go home. Everyone has a right to go home. Now, your actions may forfeit that right, but everyone has a right to go home, be you an officer or a civilian. I always say that, and I look at everything straight down the line. Now, I draw my conclusion after I see it. Maybe if the police is right and justified, I sometimes come to that conclusion. Or was a civilian justified in their actions? I come to those conclusions also. And so that's the important part of looking at videos like this. Try to be unbiased and don't let your emotions lead you, because right now everything's emotionally heightened. Let me find one of the first videos that was sent to me to really break down some things when it talks about the ICE agent. In fact, let's find let's find the video to really break so I can play this next video. Hold on, let me make sure this is correct. This is slow motion, so let's see if this works good. All right, this is a slow motion video. Let's see if we can get some sound. No sound. Waves on the first car, which is an ICE vehicle. Let me see if I can find a different one. All right. Because I want to highlight the rules and regulations of what was supposed to happen. Again, I have so many videos that were sent to me. I didn't get a chance to organize them like I usually do. I try to get things organized as fast as possible. It's kind of hard. Um, just deal. Bear with me. I'm sorry, guys. This one. All right. Let's go. We'll go through. We'll look at this one for right now. This is perfect.
Okay, we don't change our plates every morning.
So this video is actual from Jonathan Ross's phone as he was
That's fine.
recording.
You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car. Whoa!
All right. We see there. Um, he walks around the car. He walks in front of the car. What did she say? As we see here, he's in front of the car. That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. So, Trump says she said some really mean things. She said some bad things. Saying that's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. I don't think that qualifies or justifies some saying mean things or bad things. But for the people that say that she tried to hit him, that she tried to use her car as a weapon, she had ample time. She had a bunch of times, and this I'm not the only person that says this. If she wanted to use a vehicle as a weapon, when he walked in front of the car the first time, she could have ran him over. When he walked behind the car, she could have ran him over. When he walked in front of the car yet a second time, she could have hit him. She pulled off when the guy said, "Get out the car." She's trying to flee. What were her intentions? We'll never know. But just using power of deduction and other aspects of video, I can come to a conclusion that I don't think she was trying to run him over because she would have ran him over from the get-go. There was no malice in her conversation from what I was hearing. The only aggressive one wasn't even Ross. The aggressive one was his partner who said, "Get out the vehicle, get out the vehicle, get out the effing vehicle." That's where the aggression came from what I'm seeing on this video. Now, people say, "Oh, you can tell. Oh, it's clear she tried to run him over." From the other videos, you can see, well, even from this video, you can see that I actually have. I'm just trying to find this on this again. These are just my takes. These are my takes as a civilian that just looking at it from my point of view. Bam, should be bookmarks. For anyone says that she's trying to hit him, I think at 1 minute and 30 seconds, you can see she turns the wheel here. Where follow my cursor is. She turns the wheel, and the wheel's not even straight. It's clearly on an angle, just from his camera. So these are the things we have to see. Now they'll try to spin it and say that she aimed for him, but that won't work because she clearly wasn't aiming for him because the steering wheel will be pointed straight at him. Her hand will be at 10 and 2, 12 for straight for him, not sitting at what's that, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. That won't be a good argument. They'll use it. And I was talking to a fellow officer friend of mine who I'm sorry, not even a friend. I was talking to an officer because he's definitely a loved one, a friend. I don't want to put his name out there because I don't know if he told me to put his name out there. It's a relative, and I was talking to him, And we were having this conversation about will the guy get off? Is will it seem justified? They'll try to figure out how to make this justified. He even believed that, hey, you know what, this would be settled out of court. Um, are they? And I asked him. I said, "Yo, are you guys taught to stand in front of a car?" He said, "No. That is not training. We are not. We are. That is not what they train us to do. To stand in front of a car just in case try to get this car to stop." But he said, "What happens is they'll figure out a way to make it justified and say he was in fear for his life and bam." And also people say, "Oh well." On both sides, well, on one side, they say, "Well, you know, he was involved in an incident 6 months ago where he was dragged by a car, so and he had to get 30 stitches." Where I and other people say he needs to learn to stop jumping in front of cars. Then, simple as that. If you were already dragged by a car, gave stitches, why you need to stop jumping in front of cars? And other people are like, well, he has so therefore he's heightened because of that. So you have PTSD. So you need not be even in the field if you have PTSD from and you're scared of getting run over by a car. Why are you in the field? That's not. You need to be behind a desk. If you're that heightened, you don't need to be in the field at all. You need to be somewhere where you can feel safe and not be worried about being drugged. Where any scenario where you perceive that may happen, you become heightened. Now you are in fight or flight mode when you don't technically need to be. So, again, I have videos. I wish I had time to organize those videos or where that shows that particular point of the PTSD statement I was just exclaiming. Let me see if I can find something else real quick. Let's exit this real quick. Oh, yeah, we went through those two. And again, I said I'm gonna take my time with this one. So this is an interesting development because so many people, especially in Minnesota and Minneapolis, are up in arms right now because of this, and so many things are getting tacked on because of this. Some interesting things that pop up on Instagram. I mean, again, people are for it, people are against it, and I gave my opinion. I'm not going to shun you if you have your opinion on. I'm not going how you feel about the situation. If you feel it was righteous, if you feel it was great, that's for you and your Lord to take up. Whereas I want to where's it at? But this is something someone sent me that I think is pretty important to look at.
Homeland Security policy statement clearly states DHS LEO should seek to employ tactics and techniques that effectively bring an incident under control while promoting the safety of LEOs and the public, and that minimize the risk of unintended injury or serious property damage. DHS LEO should also avoid intentionally and unreasonably placing themselves in positions in which they have no alternative to using deadly force. He not only placed himself in that position against policy, but he already had his hand on his weapon. Even as he was crossing in front, he had every intention of doing this. He pulled out his weapon while she was reversing. And then they again went against DHS policy when a medical doctor said, "Can I please check her pulse?" And they absolutely refused and used the words, "I don't care," to him, because as soon as practicable following a use of force and end of any perceived public safety threat, DHS LEO shall obtain appropriate medical assistance for any subject who has visible or apparent injuries. He should have never been crossing in front of her vehicle in the first place, but he knew exactly what he was doing when he did so. He had intentions when he did so. His hand was already on his weapon. He had it drawn and in her face before she even finished reversing. He had plenty of time to step out of the way, but instead he pointed that gun directly at Renee Nicole Good, and he murdered her. He should have never even been in front of the car, per his own department's policy. Per the Department of Homeland Security
And that's the first part of the
website,
video we
this
missed.
Homeland Security policy statement clearly states DHS LEO should seek to employ tactics.
All right. So I'd said, in my opinion, he shot because he wanted to shoot. You see officers They'll pull a gun out to deter the person from doing anything. They'll pull a gun out to deter you from running. They'll pull a gun out to deter you from driving away. But they never shoot. Well, most of the time they don't shoot unless the person's aiming the car at them. I've seen this. I've said some of this is justified. But when you go ahead and pull your gun out because you want to shoot, is extremely wrong. And a big problem I have with ICE, I have so many problems with ICE and this whole regime. A big problem I have with ICE is they are ill prepared. The training for ICE agents is laughable. Police academies are 6 months. The new requirement for an ICE agent is, you go sign up. Anybody can sign up for ICE recruitment. You get your $50,000 sign-up bonus. You get overtime. They forgive your student loans. And the training is 47 days. 47 days. Now, there may be more. There may be less. I wish I could talk to an ICE agent, but they're really cowardice. They're really scared to be put in front of cameras. That's why they're always blocking cameras. That's why they tell you to put your phone down, because they're scared of cameras, and they do a lot of illegal things. And if a dead man tells no tales. If you can't report me doing it, you can't report me. If you don't record me doing it, you can't report me doing it. So, a lot of I would love to see what the training is like for a ICE agent, because I know it's not adequate. Again, I went to school to become an officer. That was 4 years. And I would still have to go to academy after that. What are these dudes doing? They got a lot of cats that really have a John Wayne mentality, have a machismo mentality, where I got a badge and a gun and I rule over you. And then J.D. Vance goes out and says yesterday that, or the day before, maybe that yesterday, they have absolute immunity. That is not true. They do not have absolute immunity. He said federal agents doing a job have absolute immunity. That is incorrect. And this is why Senator Kelly says things like, you can refuse an illegal order. If it's illegal, you can refuse it, because at the end of the day, it's gonna fall down on you. It's not gonna fall down on the president. The president has immunity while he's the president. The president has complete immunity as long as he's not literally trying to commit a crime and you see him do it. So if he tells you to do it, he has immunity. You don't. Keep that in mind, people. Keep that in mind. Look it up. Yeah, it's so many great videos that have been popping up on this whole ordeal to really show what's happening. And the problem we have going to have, guys, there is going to be martial law soon. There's going to be martial law soon, because people on the right don't think anything's wrong with it. And if they do, they're not speaking up. People on the left are aggravated and angry because they're putting ICE agents against innocent people. What ICE was supposed to be doing, they're not doing. What Homeland Security is supposed to be doing, they're not doing. What Border Patrol is doing, they're not doing. Why is Border Patrol somewhere so far away from the border? What border are you patrolling? Kidnapping legal citizens, holding them hostage. That's not part of the border. In the training that these people are receiving, they're not receiving training. We can go through tons of videos. This is a good one. I like looking at. Well, I'm sorry. I saved so I can show you guys this one. It's a great video. Get the sound on it. Side by side.
You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Get out of the fucking car.
No!
Get out of the car.
No!
Whoa!
Shame! Oh my fucking god! What the fuck? What the fuck? You just fucking, what the fuck did you? That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking United States. You want to come at us? You want to come at us?
So,
Get yourself some lunch, big boy. Okay.
for someone saying she's tried to run him over, why wouldn't she hit him any other time he was running in front of the car? Why was she back in reverse? Why would she put her car in reverse? Just run him over. You only go in reverse to make some space. It was well enough space for her to go back. She waved the car on. I showed that video. Again, these are my opinions. You guys can form your own opinions. Why would she go in reverse to just try to run the guy over when she could have ran him over the first time he walked in front of a car? First time he walked in back of the car, and when he started to walk in front of the car the second time. Just things we need to think about. And there's so many videos tearing down what Donald Trump and Kristi Nomi said. Well, I can't even think of that. Kristi, is it Nomi? I'm sorry. Yes, I think it's Nomi. I just had a brain fart of her last name. I literally have video after video after video. Like, here's one Donald Trump speaking illegitimately, speaking wrong about the whole situation because it's a narrative they want to push as well as lies they want to push. I just feel like all he does is lie no matter what. And there's no point in lying about certain things. The guy's wrong, the guy's wrong. Why would you want bad officers tainting the trust that could be put forth for any other law enforcement officer? But that's the mind of a civil person that likes order and civil justice throughout the land. Yeah, let's see this one.
My colleagues and I sat in the Oval Office with President Trump just hours after a 37-year-old woman had been shot and killed by a federal agent. As soon as we started to ask the president about this deadly shooting in Minneapolis, he at first acknowledged the tragedy of it all.
With all of it being said, no, I don't like that happening.
But then almost immediately he blamed the victim in this shooting.
She behaved horribly, and then she ran him over.
This echoes what we've heard from DHS and other federal officials. I noted that that's disputed by local officials. The president responded by saying,
well, I'd play the tape for you right now. Do you want to just whip it out?
It really didn't take long then for a staffer to come over to the president's side, right behind the Resolute desk, and actually hold up a laptop for myself and my colleagues, playing a video of the incident. And as the video was playing, my colleague David Sanger actually said out loud,
"Does not look like the ICE officer has been run over there."
The president continued to watch the video and, took a little bit of a softer tone.
It's a terrible scene.
He acknowledged that it was a tragedy, but once again blamed the victim of this.
The one woman in the car before she got shot, I heard, was unbelievably badly behaved.
It was a remarkable moment where you have the president of the United States asserting that somebody was at fault in this incident, just as federal officials are calling for the public to refrain from making conclusions until an investigation is completed.
Let the investigation play out and hold people accountable based on the investigation.
This whole moment just showed the president's reflexive defensiveness over a federal crackdown that has at times turned violent, and in this case also impacted an American citizen as well.
He said she was behaving very badly. She waved the ICE vehicle forward. She told the dude, "I'm not mad at you." How is she behaving badly? The ICE agents have this ego about them. And somebody on one of a guy actually had to stop following on Facebook because his actions are really aggravating. It's people that just love to see dissension and just love to really, no matter if you give them points, they'll argue just for the sheer fact of it. Now, if you want to just be a follower, that's one thing, but don't blatantly disregard facts. And there was this comment that came up that said ICE agents don't promote or don't I can't think of the exact term of it. Create dissension. They don't create oh man, they don't create a problem. Uh, I really wish I could think of it right now, the exact words. But many people are saying yes, they do. Anytime ICE is involved, they create chaos because the sheer thought of ICE brings chaos because they know ICE will come in and not follow orders, not follow protocol, do what they want, hold whoever they want, shoot whoever they want, and no accountability is held. So the sheer thought of ICE will be in there will bring forth chaos. They're chaotic. I think that's what it was. ICE is not chaotic. ICE is chaotic because the mention of ICE brings forth chaos. So therefore, when ICE gets involved, it's never civil. It's only civil for the first 2 seconds, and then they get the F out the car, get out the car. Because they don't follow protocol. And then when someone questions them, someone has a camera in their face, they start to slap the camera like little kids. You can't behave like that if you're a public in public office. If you're a law enforcement officer, if you enforce the law, you have to abide by the law. So this is why ICE is chaotic. This is my problem with ICE. No training, act like little kids, very chaotic. If you do what I say, no matter what I say, your parents even give you options. Like, why did you get punished? Because you didn't do this. ICE agents know you have to do what I say, and that's it. That's not how law works. That's how dictatorship works. That's not how the United States of America is supposed to act. But under this regime, we don't act like former days of civil obedience when it comes to presidents and their administration. And it's so much more you can sorry about that. It's so much more that you can go down because of just the civil unrest that ICE brings forth. And I got videos of former FBI agents that spent 30 years in the industry that handled training said this was a wrong shoot. The guy was wrong, and I'm usually on the side of the law, and they're wrong. I could show it right here, but I showed, but let's show it. Why not?
Politician or an activist, but through the lens of a 30-year career in law enforcement. I'm going to start by stating the obvious. I wasn't there. I haven't seen what happened before the video starts. That said, the more I watch it, the angrier I get. I spent 18 of my 22 years in the FBI as a firearms instructor. I didn't just teach agents how to shoot, I taught them when to shoot. One principle we hammered home was simple. Deadly force is never authorized merely to stop a fleeing suspect. Yes, if a vehicle is being used as a weapon, that changes the analysis, but nothing in this video supports that. If anything, it appeared the driver was just trying to avoid the agents altogether. Normally, I give law enforcement the benefit of the doubt when it comes to dealing with high-stress situations. But I can't do that here. At a minimum, this shooting reflects a failure of training and supervision. The deeper question, however, is whether law enforcement agencies are selecting and properly vetting people with the temperament and judgment required to make irreversible life and death decisions in seconds. I want to hear your thoughts, so please share them in the comments. Here's my take on the Minneapolis
My thoughts.
Not from the stand.
Completely correct. Completely correct. There needs to be a better job of vetting. And when I was talking about the training of 47 days, this is how narcissistic Donald Trump is. He moved the training to 47 days to reflect him being the 47th president. He does it's all self-inflatement. Everything he does is for himself. And until the maggots see that, until the cult followers see that, until the people that on the right see that, that it's not about the land. It's about Donald Trump. It won't change. Some of y'all see it, but you guys won't even acknowledge it because y'all don't want people to know you actually feel bad about things, or I was wrong. It's all right. Just fix it. When you see something's wrong, you just don't keep going. You correct it. You don't if you're going the wrong way, you don't just keep going the wrong way. You actually make a U-turn. You turn a real wheel right or left to fix it. Don't just double down because, oh man, they're gonna think let me just double down because if I'm digging a hole and I want to get out the hole, I don't dig more. I stop digging and climb out the hole. I don't keep digging. I stop digging and climb out the hole. Because at one point you're gonna dig too far and you can't get out. That's a good video. But this is what happens when you don't check certain activities. This video I saw, this literally all spawned from one incident, right? This video right here pops up where some dude.
We go all. No one can stop what is coming. Get here, guys. We need you in Minnesota. These people are fucking terrorists.
Patriots, get out here. We need the backup. And all you liberal commie motherfuckers, keep your hands to yourself or you're gonna get hurt today, all right? We executed one of you yesterday.
This guy is not a police officer.
The storm is here. When we come, one, we go all. No one can stop what is coming.
That guy showed up to a protest.
The storm is here.
He showed up to a protest. He's not a police officer. He's not an ICE agent. He's not a Homeland Security. He's not a Border Patrol. He's just a random guy, a random, as they called him, a Nazi, a random hater, a random terrorist. Calling for other people to get here, guys. Get here, patriots. We executed one of you guys. This is at a peaceful protest. Now, what happens at these protests that I just and others, I just look at his face. Look very, very demented. What people are asking is, now if it was the other way around, they would, which they were doing, throwing tear gas, slapping them in the face, throwing them down, shooting them with pellets, shooting them with bullets, shooting them with anything, arresting them. And they're peaceful. This guy literally is telling we executed you guys. He's just standing there with the ICE, and they're just cool with it. Didn't tell him to move around. Didn't tell him. None of that. I got a video where the protest, the police officer, he has mace pointed in the lady's face. She's sitting there chilling. They're just standing protesting. Now she's not doing any of this. She's standing there, and the officer has his mace pointed in her hand, at her face, grabs his pistol and puts that in her face. And her arms are at her side. She's not doing anything. You can't do that. As a civilian, I can't do that. As a civilian, I can't brandish my weapon in fear. Police officers aren't around. They aren't allowed to do that either. That is not part of the protocol. We can go down the protocol of what police actions are supposed to do. That's not one of them. That's not one of them. What if he'd have shot on accident? They'd have figured out a way to spin that to make it seem it was her fault. Who's accountable when these dudes do stupid stuff like that? Who's accountable? This guy's gonna get somebody hurt. This guy right there. What's my finger? That guy right there is gonna get somebody hurt for doing something stupid. Stupid. And no one where are the repercussions, man? Where are the repercussions for these actions? Nothing. We executed one of you guys. This is where we are now. This is where we are. And from that incident, whatever. All right, I'm sorry. My mic just fell. It's so bad, and we're all getting all type of news from the DHS, DOJ, and Donald Trump, and it's all lies. Even when we have videos saying and proving otherwise. Feds have now made the case of Renee Good and Jonathan Ross a federal case. So and that gives ICE agents immunity to whatever action they do. And by them making a federal case, the state can't even step in and investigate. And the state and the feds are refusing to work with the state. Trump said, and he usually would work with the state, but Minnesota's Congress is super corrupt, so he won't. So, with that being said, we have incidents after that doing that from protests. Minnesota, they pop up at high schools now. They popped up just at a high school right after that happened. At a high school, in our Mason kids at Roosevelt High School in Minnesota. Minnesota has been in the news like Minnesota has been in the news like Trump and the Epstein files for like the past week. Not only have ICE raids been billions, not only ICE raids, but billions of dollars of fraud that have been allegedly tied in daycares and Somalians. ICE have been showing up at schools just to try to detain people. They showed up at Roosevelt High School yesterday, and everything went to crap. I thought I had a video of that, but I have bunches of videos of everything else. Oh, this is the exact video I was telling you guys about. Check this out. Let me go here back real quick. Bam. Exit that. This is where we are now. Right there.
This just happened at a demonstration in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I want to ask you guys the question, does it look like this woman, a safety marshal, ensuring that people are staying safe and calm at a demonstration with high emotional tension, did anything to provoke this reaction from the ICE agent? I'm sure that conservatives are already in the comment section scrambling to point out how this woman with her hands at the side was threatening to run over this man with her car, or maybe stomp her with her tiny fuzzy winter boots. If this were to have happened in any other country, Americans would be coming together condemning the regime that oppressed a civilian's First Amendment right. But since it's in America, we have half of the country supporting this because they think Donald Trump is going to save us from the evil radical left. We do not understand how close we were to another Boston massacre.
That's the video I was talking about. We got a bunch of boys playing cops and robbers out here. Got a bunch of boys playing cowboys and Indians. Got a bunch of boys playing I'm the superpower, I'm the superhero, you got to listen to me. He pulled his gun out because he was intimidated, and they were listening. And he was mad because she wasn't backing down from him telling her to move. So I pull my gun when you're just standing still. Yeah. That is crazy. If you look up Minnesota right now, everything's going crazy because it's so much fraud going on, and they want to tie it with, and not just in Minnesota. There's so much fraud going on everywhere, right? But anytime they can make immigrants look bad, they will. So they'll put all the smoke on Somalians, and they'll put all the smoke on daycares, and they'll put all the smoke on immigrants coming from Mexico, and they call them aliens, which sounds so stupid to me. I don't get it. But the question that's always asked is, why don't we see illegal immigrants that look white? Why don't we see Polish immigrants? Why don't we see Russian immigrants? Why don't we see South African immigrants? Why don't we see Ukrainian immigrants? Why don't we see Chinese immigrants, Asian immigrants, European immigrants? Why don't we see any of those immigrants being arrested, harassed, thrown down, shot? Why don't we see those? It's just you always see Hispanics. Always. Why? It's a lot of hatred built behind that. And so that's what we're dealing with this whole week, guys. And on top of that, not only are we dealing with that from that aspect, we're dealing with Venezuela. We're dealing with Venezuela. I'm sorry. How'd that jump up? Oh, no, it didn't jump. Dealing with Venezuela and that whole thing about Donald Trump taking over Venezuela. Donald Trump and his administration taking over Venezuela. How is that possible? We're going to turn from the hatred that is in Minnesota right now, all the bad things happening in Minnesota right now, and we're going to keep it moving on just the news from the week. And the biggest question I had dealing with the Venezuela and Maduro conversation is, how is Trump allowed to do this? How is Trump taking over Venezuela? For those of you who are confused, just as I was, how Trump can go and kidnap a sitting president and stake claim to their country and resources, wouldn't he be considered, and wouldn't that be considered a war crime, and he'd be considered a war criminal at this point? And so you have to ask, what's a war criminal? A war criminal is an individual who commits war crimes, which are serious violations of international humanitarian laws, laws of wars, during an armed conflict, including acts of murder, torture, pillaging, taking hostages, and internationally targeting civilians protected by treaties like the Geneva Convention and prosecuted by international bodies like the ICC. These offenses involve grave breaches of rules governing warfare, leading to individual criminals' responsibility under international law. Examples of these offenses are willfully killing, torturing, and cruel treatment, intentionally attacking civilian hospitals or religious sites, unlawful deportation or confinement, pillaging, plundering of public or private property, taking hostages, and or using prohibited weapons. So why isn't Trump considered a war criminal with all the things he's throwing out there? Why isn't the people who are doing this considered war criminals? Because they seem like war crimes because of something called the Monroe Doctrine, or what Donald Trump is trying to call the Donroe Doctrine. What is the Monroe? So what is the Monroe Doctrine? It is a foreign policy from 1823 that warned European powers against further colonization or interference in the Americas, declaring the Western Hemisphere closed to new European control, establishing this hemisphere as the U.S. sphere of influence. In return, U.S. pledged neutrality in European wars and affairs. So basically, in 1823, President James Monroe told Europe, listen, no new European colonizations in Americas. No European meddling in Europe and Western Hemisphere affairs. And if you do that, we, the U.S., promise not to mess with Europe. If Europe crossed the line, then we would call that a hostile act. So, Europe, you're way over there. What you got is over there is you. So over here is us. Don't bother us. We won't bother you. And what's crazy is, U.S. didn't have the power back then when I was drawn up to really enforce that. So they played the greatest hand of poker and they won. Because Europe was like, all right, we'll sit back and chill. You got it. Big bluff hand, and they won. Back then we didn't have the power. U.S. has the power now. So how did Latin America get roped into it? Theodore Roosevelt, with the Roosevelt Corollary, and other presidents like that, expanded the doctrine to justify U.S. military intervention in Latin America to maintain stability. So Europe got banned, Latin America got protected, and the U.S. got a permanent excuse to interfere with Latin America whenever they feel like it. So basically, Trump is doing to Venezuela what Putin is trying to do to Ukraine. You see the correlation. Putin wants more land from Ukraine. Trump wants more land and oil from Venezuela. So I'm going to claim it as my own. Putin claimed the parts of Ukraine that he wants belong to Russia. Trump claims the part of Venezuela belongs to the United States. And I'm going to run it no matter, and we'll run it and give you what we deem necessary or we deem appropriate to Venezuela and their people. They'll be happy that we run. That's like me running into your crib, taking all your stuff and saying, I'll divvy out your paycheck how I deem fit, and you'll like it. Don't worry about it. Every time the United States talks about Venezuela or Cuba, the Monroe Doctrine comes spewing out of his mouth like tequila out of a hungover college student that partied too hard during homecoming. The message is always the same. Foreign influence near us is dangerous. Now flip the logic to Ukraine. Russia says NATO near the border is a threat. And suddenly, the United States understands exactly how border feels important. We won't bother you Russia and Ukraine, because that's your business. That's your business. But when it comes to hoarding somebody else's stuff, Venezuela, no. We want that. We gonna take that. Same logic. Everyone hates it until it benefits them. So it boils down to, it's not about drugs like they were saying, like I talked about last week. It's not about drugs. It's always been about oil and resources. Yes, always been about oil and resources. Anytime U.S. claims a new regime change, you can bet your bottom dollar something's about to get stolen by us. We're going to take it. U.S. is going to take it from us, take it from y'all, and claim it as their own. and hide it under a new regime change. If you hear that, guaranteed oil is involved. And why? And it's such a BS just band-aid they put over things. I've asked somebody, they say, I'm so tired of hearing about the regime changes. When is this going to be enough? They never work. It's all lies. It's always about oil. And then you get that's from sensible people. And then you get people like Stephen Miller. And he gets on and gives this whole tirade on Twitter about why actions like this are justified. Why United States can go in and take things from any other country. Let me just go ahead and find this and here we go.
Interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. We're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower.
Every time Stephen Miller talks, he sounds more and more like a Nazi troll. Every time he opens his mouth, he sounds more and more like someone who was bullied in high school by all the girls. He tries to flex power that he does not have. He hides behind Donald Trump's immunity and Donald Trump's power and flexes it like it's his own. He sounds more and more like a bullied weakling every time he speaks. I was looking for a word that wouldn't be offensive, because only offensive words were trying to come out. Just he looks like a Nazi general every time he speaks. He looks like someone that hates anyone that doesn't look like him.
It is absurd that we would allow a nation in our own backyard to become the supplier of resources to our adversaries, but not to us, to hoard weapons from our adversaries, to be able to be positioned as an asset against the United States rather than on behalf of the United States.
Sovereign countries shouldn't be able to do what they want to do.
The Monroe Doctrine and the Trump Doctrine is all about securing the national interests of America. For years, we sent our soldiers to die.
Never answer questions. They never answer questions. Sensible questions, never answer questions.
In deserts in the Middle East to try to build them parliaments, to try to build them democracies, to try to give them more oil, to try to give them more resources. The future of the free world, Jake, depends on America being able to assert ourselves and our interests without apology. This whole period that happened after World War II, where the West began apologizing and groveling and begging
I don't even
and
know,
engaging these
honestly,
vast
what you're talking about
schemes.
right now.
What I'm talking about, Jake, is the idea, and by the way, I know you love doing that smarmy thing, Jake, and I was hoping to be better than
Just ranting. Literally ranting. That's the evil man monologue. The evil man monologue. What is he talking about? What's this one?
The Premier of Denmark and other Danish officials are responding to a Twitter post from your wife, Katie Miller.
He thinks it's funny.
Official, showing Greenland covered with an American flag, saying soon. After that was posted, President Trump repeated the claim that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security reasons. The Danish Prime Minister responded to this in an interview earlier today, as reported by Bloomberg, quote, "I believe one should take the American president seriously when he says it wants Greenland, but I will also make it clear that if the U.S. chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops, including NATO, and thus the security that has been established since the end of the Second World War." Can you rule the U.S. is ever going to try to take Greenland the Second World War? Can you rule out that the U.S. is ever going to try to take Greenland by force?
That was the question he asked. And Stephen Miller went on a whole tirade about why these lands are owed to us. How dare they try to be there in our backyard? We're the superpower. And it goes on longer than that. It's a whole tirade of this dude sounding like a complete a-hole. It's what I need to ask someone, what do they when they hear man talk like this, like what Is it so much hatred that you guys think is right? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. It's a sad state that we're living in right now. A lot of hatred, a lot of bigotry, a lot of hatred, a lot of a lot of confusion. What's sad is, uh, we're in a time where it's cool to be hateful. It's cool to be that's the in crowd right now. To be Stephen Miller is to be hateful. To be ICE is what's trending, and that's what's growing. That's what's teaching our kids to be like that, and that's what's going to be the future of this country. Because they see how Stephen Miller acts, and they say, "Oh, that's how we have to act when we get to power." There's no camaraderie. There's no love. That's literally hatred. That's the problem I have with this. Just hatred being spewed. Why shouldn't we take that? Why shouldn't I be able to go in your country and just take your president out and say this will be better for you? No diplomacy, just dictatorship. That's the sad part. Kids are saying that. They're growing up. They want to be like that. It's emulated because it's fun. Especially white kids. Yes, it's fun for them. I've had friends that voted for, or associates, college associates that voted for Donald Trump because they said it will be fun. It's funny. White people, nonetheless, I came across no black person that thought it would be funny. They said it would be funny to vote for him because he's fun. Is he an entertainer? Is Donald Trump an entertainer? Yes. Is he a world leader? No. That's a person who does not need to be heading over any body, let alone country, because he birthed stuff like this. Stephen Miller would never have the balls to be this hateful and racist and stupid if it wasn't for Donald Trump's regime. This is where we at right now. So how do we change it, y'all? What do we got to do? We actually have to get out and vote. Honestly, we have to get out and make a change. Because I don't know where Congress is right now. I don't know where Democratic comment. I don't know where justification is right now. I don't know where the policing is right now. Accountability is right now. I don't know where that is. We have to figure it out. We have to find it. Because if we don't do anything, when we look back at this from 75 years from now, people will say, and they just let them do it. Like, where were they at? They just let them do it. Like, when we sit back and look at slave history, and people say, oh, that'd never be me. I'd never let that happen. We're letting it happen now. No, they're just sitting back and being complacent about it. You sit there, well, how did they let Hitler do what he did? We're sitting there watching it happen, and it's playing out in real life right now, real time, right now, and we're doing nothing. I'm not saying fight the agents, but that's what's going to happen. And eventually, like I said, martial law is going to come down. They're going to start shooting at these people, and everybody's going to suffer from it. We have to be able to do something. Congressmen, we have to be able to do something to fight the bigotry that is happening. We have to be what do we do to get out of this hole? And the problem is a lot of people my age and younger don't really care because it's not really affecting them so much as they think so. So they can be quiet and just watch it on YouTube and just, it ain't in my back door. It ain't my backyard. It's not happening in my home, so I don't worry about it. My name's not Renee Good. I'm not part of her family, so I don't need to worry about it. She was a lesbian, so it doesn't even, she was married to a woman. It doesn't affect me. It does affect you. Because if they'll do it to her, they'll do it to you. For the ones that say, oh, all they care about is my guns, my guns, my guns. What happens when they start taking your guns? Then you have a problem. You don't care about any amendment. You pray, sweep it down, it's America, but the only amendment you know is the Second Amendment. What about the Fourth Amendment? They'll take your First Amendment too. The First Amendment also. They'll stop you from talking peacefully. But the only one you care about is your guns. So when it comes for your guns, then that's a problem. You need to stand up now, people. We got to figure it out now. We got to hold Donald Trump accountable now for the stupid things he says. Stephen Miller accountable now for the stupid things they say. When everything's above board, when everything is lawful, I don't care. It's if you are truly trying to make America great, I'm cool with that. What do you mean by make America great? But if you are pushing a narrative that pushes us back to the 1900s where black folk can't vote, women have no rights, Hispanics are treated like crap, black folk are treated like crap. If you're pushing us back to that type of thing, and the only people that are happy are rich billionaires that are beating us on the back, I'm not for that. If you're a Republican that likes Republican views, long as it's benefiting everyone, I'm cool with that. But we have to do something about this. Is for the ones who know this is wrong and refuse to speak up. Shame on you. That's a shame. That's the part. When we have ICE agents, we have police officers, and we have Border Patrol, and we have Homeland Security agents that literally sit back and watch these people do heinous things and not speak up. That's the problem. I couldn't even make this segment funny because ain't nothing funny about it, man. It's real life. Somebody got shot in the face, and they want to make it seem like it was this officer was in fear for his life. He wasn't in fear for his life. He was pissed off because the chick didn't want to listen to him, which most of them are. We got to do better, people. We got to do better. And that's all I got for the news this week. All right, as we switch over to sports, thank y'all for indulging me with this long, kind of all over the place political news. I have to figure out a better way to transition from headline to headline, but this one kind of all spewed together. But as we go to sports, now, what's happening in the NFL? What's happening in the NFL? The NFL fired so many head coaches over the last week. Oh my gosh. Mike McDaniel got let go from the Miami Dolphins. John Harbaugh got let. That was the one that shocked the crap out of me. Harbaugh got fired? That is insane. So let's see. Mike McDaniel, Miami Dolphins, record 7-10. Yeah, sorry, it was a losing record. Why fired? Weak start. Yeah, well, he was 1-6. Inconsistent season, and ultimately missed the playoffs. Owner opted for a new direction and will hire a new GM first to help pick the next coach. All right, I needed that. All right. Still the offensive minded most teams respect. So the candidates could get offensive coordinator interviews or be considered for head coach openings depending on the fit. They want someone offensive minded. Number 2, John Harbaugh, Baltimore Ravens, tenure 18 seasons. That's crazy. Why fired? Because of this season, he was 8-9. I think he only had 3 losing seasons out of 18 seasons. This year, he's 8-9, finished and missed the playoffs because of a missed field goal. After a long run with a Super Bowl under his belt and multiple playoff seasons, the organization chose a fresh start. He's already being interviewed, though. All right, number 3, Jonathan Gannon, Arizona Cardinals. They were 3-14. They sucked this year. I kept telling y'all, they sucked. Why fired? Defense did not improve as expected under his leadership, and team regression prompted a rebuild. Number 4, Pete Carroll from the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, they sucked. I think, Petey, you might as well just hang it up, bro. You might as well hang it up. Record 3-14. They also sucked. Raiders always suck, though. Why fired? Failed to improve a recurring losing situation. His one season in Las Vegas did not translate into a competitive football. He is less likely to land a head coaching job, though his experience is vast. Yeah, I think it's time for him to hang it up. Number 5, and which one I think everybody can agree with, Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland Browns. Record 5-12. Inconsistent results and struggles with quarterback play and team performance led to parting ways after 6 seasons. I did not know he was there for 6 seasons, but one thing he does is like to pick sucky quarterbacks. Yikes. And I'm not talking about Shador. Y'all tried it. It don't work. I'm not with that bandwagon. Outlook, still respected. Could be on the radar for opening jobs. Brown fans are reported links that link his name to other vacancies. Number 6, Raheem Morris, Atlanta Falcons. His record was 8-9, similar to Harbaugh's. Why they fire him? Back-to-back 8-9 seasons and no playoff appearances. Ownership opted for a change. Number 7, Brian DeBole, New York Giants. Oh, he got fired early this season. We talked about that one. And then early also this season was two Bryans back-to-back. Brian Callahan, he was with the Titans. He got fired early this season too. So we had six head coaches getting fired in 1 week. Woo, got fired in 1 week. So let's see here. Out of those fires, right, I found this information pretty interesting. The top 2 coach prospects to get hired, 1, John Harbaugh. I didn't fire. That wasn't so surprise. As soon as he got fired, seven teams were hollering at him. As soon as he got fired, 7 teams were hollering at him. I think the next day he got fired. If he got, let's say like Solomon Grundy, if he got fired on a Monday, he was getting calls on a Tuesday. He may have been getting calls on the Monday. He actually did. When he got fired, they came across breaking news that he already received calls from 7 teams. And it's 8 teams. There's only 18 vacancies, and he already got calls from 7. And one of the teams, one of the 8 was one of his. So he got calls from all 7 teams, per se, if you want to do some quick math. And number 2, right? Oh, let's see. Just fired John Harbaugh, fired after 18 seasons with the Super Bowl ring. Still one of the biggest names on the market. Possible fits, Giants, yes, and other teams. Giants, I could see that. Even his brother Jim was like, yo, he gonna coach for somebody. I hope not in my division, but he's gonna coach. They definitely gonna get him. They picking him up. He's gonna get picked. He cold. And number 2, would you all believe this? Kevin Stefanski is the number 2 prospect for coach hiring. He is 2-time coach of the year. I didn't know that. That is crazy. Possible fits, any team wanting stability and offensive leadership. What? Are you serious? That is, I'm shocked at that one. I didn't know Stefanski was that from what he put on interviews and what he put on the field this year. I didn't know he was respected. Seemed kind of stupid to me. Maybe I just didn't understand what was his reasoning behind the moves he will make this year. I thought he had absolute immunity from how he was acting. I was telling people he must know he can't get fired, so he's just gonna act a certain way. Or maybe he knew from the get-go, this was my last year, so I want to get fired. Maybe he wanted to get fired. Oh. So I'm going to tank the season because I want to be out of the Browns. Because this is a crappy situation. Only good thing going for the Browns is Myles Garrett and Shedeur Sanders. That's the only good thing they had going for them. Shout out to Myles Garrett for getting his he breaking the record. Let's clap it up for Myles Garrett. Congratulations, Myles. I'm proud of you, boy. I'm proud of you.
Something. Go ahead. I'm going back to Chevron.
I didn't press that button, I don't think. I don't know how that happened. Shout out to Myles. That's Donald Trump being a dummy. I'm sorry about that video. Shout out to Myles again. Shout out to Myles. But as we travel more about this NFL news, y'all, hey, so we know we got wild card weekend popping up. We got games on Saturday. Who is playing this Saturday? The Bears. My Bears and the Packers. Not my Packers. Look, y'all. We are 1-1 with the Bears. 1-1 with the Packers this year. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I am nervous about this. I am nervous about this game. I do not know if we can beat the Packers twice in a year. I want them to. I want them to beat them. Definitely wanted that second win. I don't know if we can beat the Packers twice in 1 year. I really wish we'd have won these last 2 games. We definitely were close when it was that. Oh, we were close with both the games. We came back from the Detroit game, lost by 3. We lost by this much for the 49ers game. My thing is, guys, we are a reactionary team. We are not a dominant team. As Cam Newton says, Caleb Williams is not a game changer. He's a game manager. That's the sad part. We need a game changer. Caleb, I'm not trying to get rid of you. I want you to be a game changer. Be a game changer, Caleb. We know you can do it. Don't be a manager. Own the entire game from the first snap to the last second. First kickoff to the last second of the game. Own the game, and you will be a game changer, not a manager. We need a changer in this week. The game's tomorrow. We need it because the Bears need it. Chicago needs it because y'all trying to leave Chicago anyway. And if y'all leave Chicago, leave out on a good note, win the Super Bowl, and then y'all can go. I'm not gonna root for y'all after y'all leave Chicago, but at least we got another Super Bowl. That's all I gotta say. Speaking of that, I just found out Ron Rivera, the coach who coached Cam Newton at Carolina and was also over at Washington, he was an 85 Bear. Congratulations, Ron. I'll rock with you. And not Jeff Daniels. Is it Jeff Fisher? Jeff Fisher, the coach who drafted Jared Goff, who was with the Rams and then the Titans. 85 Bear. Corner. He's a corner. I knew I liked Jeff. Good job, Jeff. I'll rock with you too. But what's happening in college? What is happening in college sports with NCAA and the college CFB, the college football playoffs? Let's go. Ho, ho, ho. Miami, who I didn't think would pull this off, they beat Ole Miss 31-27 to advance to the college football playoffs. I did not expect that to happen. I thought Miami up there was a fluke. I thought they were fluky. McDookie. But clearly they not. The U is proven out to be who they think they are. 31-27 over Ole Miss. Y'all shocked me. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I was not part of y'all bandwagon from the get-go. I thought it was a fluke. I thought it was a fake. I thought it was fake news. But y'all showed me. And now we got Indiana playing Oregon. They may be done right now. Oh boy. Let's see. Oh shoot. Oh gosh. All right, Indiana. I'm nervous, y'all. I'm nervous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hey y'all. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting that. I had to double take because my vision was tripping. Number 1, Indiana Hoosiers versus number 5, Oregon Ducks. And y'all know I like Oregon. Ducks 15. Indiana 42. It's third quarter with 4 minutes left. I hope the Hoosiers go 75 on them boys. Do not take the foot off the pedal. Run it up on them. 42-15. Gosh, dang, y'all boys didn't even get off the plane. Woo-wee. Man, y'all better not let them pop up. Y'all better not let them come back, Hoosiers. I'm talking about keep the boot on the throat, boy. Go, let's do this for the Big Ten. Because the Ohio State Buckeyes let me down. So Indiana, hold it down for me. Y'all ain't that far. Indiana ain't that. Y'all right there with Illinois. So Big Ten is where we roll. Get that win for me, please. I was not expecting 42-15. Y'all getting spanked. Please, Indiana, don't let this come back to haunt me. Win, please, win. Win. That's all we do. Let's go, Big Ten. I wasn't expecting that at all. Shoot. All right. I talked about the Bears playing tomorrow. I talked about college. Gosh, dang. This is going to be an interesting college football, and I'm all for it. I am all for it. And that's all I got for sports today. let's crack in entertainment. So right now, all I have is one major thing I want to talk about. Marty Supreme beat Sinners for the best movie in 2025. Marty Supreme ranked in 28 million. Marty Supreme won the Critics' Choice Awards for best film in 2025. Marty Supreme ranked in $28 million on a $10 million budget its opening weekend of December 25th. And Variety called Timothy Chalamet the king of Christmas box office. Whereas when Sinners when they raked in $60 million on a $90 million budget, their opening week, Variety had less to say, less pleasantries to say, saying profitability remains a ways away. They also had much less to say about Michael B. Jordan's performance, and the man played two separate characters in Sinners. Smoke and Stack were definitely two completely different characters that Michael B. Jordan handled superbly. And this is why I don't do award shows, y'all. This is why I don't do award shows. Because no matter what happens, no matter how a black performer performs, they're never given their justice. I don't watch Oscars. I don't watch Emmys. I don't watch Tonys. I don't watch Grammys. I do not watch Critical Award. I don't watch none of them because I already know it's not for show for me or anybody that looks like me. We don't get praise for things like that. They say black people can't do Hollywood, and time after time, black people deliver. They show up. They excel, but we aren't given the kudos. Not unless you're playing a thug or a prostitute, they give you any type of praise. This is how crazy. I haven't seen Marty Supreme. I didn't even know what the movie was about at first until I started really seeing Timothy Chalamet pop up. Like, what is this about? This was after the movie was already out. Sinners? Everybody knew about Sinners. Everybody wanted to watch Sinners. Clearly, it shows the proof is in the pudding. The movie made $60 million this opening weekend. The opening weekend. It tripled what Marty Supreme made. Its opening weekend. I still haven't seen Marty Supreme. Seen Sinners. So what does that tell you? And this is why I don't do Oscars. This is why I don't do award shows. The Oscars going to be even worse. In fact, they didn't win any. Sinners was up for a bunch of nominations, but they didn't win any of them. It's going to be the same thing for the Oscars. They're not going to win. The cinematography for Sinners was crazy. The way they shot Smoke and Stacks, it made you think it was two separate people. Listen, I did a video where, if you guys ever follow my stuff, my content, especially when I was doing more editing with my computer, that was when I could handle it. It can't even handle it now. I would do side by side things with Fletch and Fletcher, where I would interact with Fletch as Fletcher or interact with Fletcher as Fletch. And it's not easy. When I did, I passed some dried dried apples to one of the characters I was playing. In Sinners, Smoke passed Stack a cigarette, or vice versa. Stack passed Smoke a cigarette. Didn't miss a beat. You couldn't tell the change of scenery. He passed the man a cigarette. The man smoked the cigarette in the same with nothing moving. And you can't tell where it happens at. In my video, you can at least I can point out how it happened. You guys can see it if you actually look at the whole screen. You can't tell, and yet they win nothing. But Marty Supreme wins, and I'm not really sold on Timothy Chalamet's acting in the first place. Not to say that I don't want to be a hater on any actor, right? But Variety is kind of biased when it comes to black people anyway, so. And it's all owned by the same person. That's why we need our own entertainment stuff, guys. Hence why I have What's Up Entertainment, where I give you What's Up News. And we're going to break into further things. What's Up Sports? What's Up this? What's Up that? It's going to be big because I want my own platform. I'm tired of waiting on everybody else, and I'm tired of looking at things like this with the entertainment aspect when I see things that do us unfairly. That is crazy. I want to see Marty Supreme because I'm an actor and I need to see what it's about, what's happening in there. But I won't be partaking in award shows. I'm cool on that. I'm cool on all of that. But That's what's happening in entertainment as far as that goes. I don't have anything else as far as entertainment because it was a lot of news. It's political news going on, and that kind of took up a lot of my time. As you can tell from this episode, movie of the week. Let's check out Marty Supreme. We're gonna watch Marty Supreme. I'm gonna tell y'all something I did watch this weekend. Though I did watch Hijack, the first season of Hijack. I watched that. Very interesting TV show. It's on Apple Play, Apple Plus, Apple Video, whatever it's called. Idris Elba is playing the lead character. I don't understand how Idris didn't take off how he should have. He is not a B actor; he's an A actor, but he should be in the same vein as Dennis. Oh my gosh, Denzel. He should be in the same vein as Denzel, but he's not though. Maybe overseas he is. Here he's not. But to me, he has way more swagger than Denzel. That's if you want to steal some swagger from somebody, steal Idris. His swagger is crazy. It's the way his tone, the way he talks, the way he moves. If you're trying to copy swagger as an actor, look mimic Idris. I think he got robbed. He probably would have had a way bigger presence if he would have landed the 007 role. Don't know why he didn't. Well, I know why he didn't. We all know why he didn't, but it's all right. It's all right. It ain't all right, but it's real. It is what it is. They're not ready for the swagger of a black man to be that role. Yeah, they wasn't ready for him to be that. So, it is what it is. So, check that show. Check Hijack out. It's good. They have a second season coming out on the 14th. Interested to see how that's gonna go. Hijack is a good TV show. Check it out. But the movie of the week we're gonna watch is Marty Supreme, because I want to see what the freak the hubbub is about. To maybe it'll change my views of Timothy Chalamet as a actor. I don't think he's a trash actor. I think it's kind of it could be more added to it. But I'm not the best actor. I think I'll tell you right now. I look at my acting, I'd be like, for real? Yikes. So we all need to get better though. We're nowhere near where we need to be. Everyone needs to get better. And that's why I try not to judge harshly and critique harshly. There's good critiquing, there's bad critiquing, and there's hating. I don't want to be a hater. So let's watch we'll go back, we'll see Marty Supreme, and we'll go from there. That's all we got for this week, y'all. That's all we got. Hit him with a clap. Hey, y'all. Let God guide y'all way. There's a lot of hatred out here. There's a lot of evil being spewed. A lot of white versus black, black versus Hispanic, white versus everything else. But the realness is it's rich versus poor, y'all. The rich want us to be at arms with each other so they can pull the wool over our eyes and get over whatever they want to get over with. If we open our eyes and see that's the truth, we'll be able to stand up to this tyranny. But until then, we will just keep fighting each other. They'll dangle $50,000 in front of your face and have you go arrest and shoot and kill your fellow man when they're making billions off of your stupidity or your ignorance. Let's educate ourselves, guys. It shouldn't be us against us. It should be us against them, as in the billionaires, as in Donald Trump and his hatred. Let's get that sucker out of there and put somebody who's actually for the people. Whoever that, but Republican or Democrat, whoever's for the people, let's put them in office and get these suckers out who's not for us. That's all I got to say. All right, y'all. Want y'all to be blessed. If you guys are interested in being part of the What's Up Entertainment team, please let me know. Reach out to your boy. Hit me up on, you can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Facebook. You can hit me up. Yeah, you can call my cell phone if you got that. Same number. I ain't never changing my number. It's there for y'all to get. Y'all, if y'all know me, y'all got it. I'm welcoming on all help. I'm looking for sports commentators, esports commentators, news commentators, and political commentators. Welcome all. Democrats, Republicans. If you don't even have a party, I'm welcoming you too. Welcome, and we'll get this train rolling. And with that being said, y'all, I hope y'all have a blessed week, and be safe, y'all. Be safe. But until then, be good, be cool, and be AC. Peace. Hit him with a clap. And we out.